All right, just wanted to do a little book review today of a book that I recently read. This one is Mastering the Art of Soviet Cooking, a memoir of food and longing. Pretty cool front page, I thought. Kind of captivated me when I saw it online. I bought this thinking that it was a cookbook. It was not a cookbook. It was, well, it was a memoir of food and longing. It's definitely a memoir, like a family history, but also a history of the Soviet Union, which was really cool and largely told through the lens of food. Not just Russian food, it's Soviet, so it's all the ethnicities, all the regions that were part of the Soviet Union and modern day Russia. I mean, modern day Russia is comprised of tons of different ethnicities and nationalities and languages and cultures. So, yeah, it's really cool to learn about more than just Russian culture. I mean, what does that mean? It's a kind of a touchy subject, I guess, but obviously you have like the culture, the Russian people. Even that's like weird. What do you mean by that? Like there's citizenship of Russia, but then there's also, I guess you could say, an ethnicity because, like for example, like a person from Dagestan, they are Russian, but they're also Dagestani. So that's what I mean. There are Russians who are Russians, and then there are Russians who are Bashkirs or Uzbeks, and that doesn't make them any less Russian. They're Russian citizens. All right. Maybe that's for another time, that tangent. But yeah, so this book was really cool, and in terms of exploring, the Baltics, Ukraine, Belarus. But yeah, it's not a cookbook. There are some recipes in the back. There's about 10, one for each chapter. It kind of goes through 1910 to 2000, so a little bit pre and post Soviet Union, which is really cool. It tells the history of the Soviet Union vaguely. I mean, it doesn't get very in depth in that, but there were some things that I read in this book that I hadn't known after other Soviet history books that I had read, which was really cool. It was more of a first-hand perspective, which was really cool. This woman's family is quite fascinating. I mean, I'm sure many Russian families have fascinating histories just because of the turbulent last century. I mean, quite honestly, any century in Russian history is fascinating to me. But yeah, this woman, she had like a spy as a grandfather, I believe. I think her great grandmother got sent to the gulags. There's drunks. There's scientists. Yeah, really cool. The writing's pretty well done. It keeps it moving pretty well. A little bit over the top at times, or maybe not over the top, but just things don't land, I guess. It's like, okay, whatever. I mean, I can't over criticize that. It's not like I've read anything like this, but it's good enough to keep it entertaining and light. It's not a very long book overall. It's about 300 pages. So fairly easy to read, not overly difficult, not dense or anything like that. This woman's quite opinionated, but that's fine. She's kind of seems a little feisty. Yeah, I enjoyed it overall. What else do I have to say about this? So this woman and her mother emigrated from the Soviet Union. I want to say it was in the 70s. Yeah, so she was born, I could be off, I think in the 50s. And then they might have emigrated in the 60s. All right, don't take my word for any of this, but they did emigrate at one point. So the last 3 chapters are a little bit different from the beginning of the book. I guess I would say the beginning of the book is largely historical, and her family's kind of history as much as you can piece it together. The middle of the book is largely firsthand experience of kind of her parents and her childhood, which I want to say, 40s, 50s, 60s kind of era. Really fascinating to hear about like what her family was doing during World War II. And then, the later eras, they had already moved to New York. And so she visits Russia several times working on this book as well as other cookbooks. And I think that's how she became famous, is writing Soviet cookbooks. Really cool. Like, her and her boyfriend are like traveling all around the Soviet Union while it's collapsing. So a lot of really interesting firsthand experiences. Overall, I did enjoy this book. I can't see myself reading it again anytime soon. Maybe not ever at all. I don't know. I think I got what I'm going to get out of it. Probably refer to the recipes at some point, but I don't. Maybe one day in the not near future I'll read it again, but yeah, I enjoyed this book, and I recommend it to anybody who has an interest in Russian or Soviet culture, especially food. So, that's all.